All right, what's up, everyone? My name's AJ Wrights Crypto, coming to you live from the hills of Los Angeles. The Wi-Fi doesn't reach the spot I wanted to stream from. Well, basically, like all the way up on this hill, kind of like a little south of Glendale, but you can see like a lot of the city from where we are. Maybe I'll turn the camera around, like the end of the stream or something. But I've been wanting to do some live streams. It's just difficult to do them on the West Coast because I want to do my normal time, which requires me to wake up like super early. It's 7:30 in the morning here. But all good. I wanted to do some traditional live streams while I'm here. So shout out to everybody in the chat who's here with me. Appreciate. Am I in the garden? I'm in one of the gardens. Okay, we're at a really cool spot here. We're where we are in Los Angeles, and certainly maybe I'll do a stream from the other spot tomorrow. I do plan on doing members only stream tomorrow morning. And we definitely got a lot to talk about in this show. Shout out to everybody in the chat: SWFL, Bam, C Daniel, Eddie C, Marsh, CK, Vollmer, Alan Huerta, Marsh, Mr. Mojo, Overnight Express, Mike Vollmer, everybody in the house. I'm in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle for sure. I'll touch on. I'm not going to touch on any of the drama stuff, but I am going to talk about crypto and all the things going on. We got a lot of really exciting stuff going on right now. This year has started with a bang. This year started rocky with the health complications and everything, but we're getting this year dialed as we go. So before we go, make sure you smash the like button early in the show. Get us in the algorithm. Thank you guys for being here this Thursday morning. So I do want to start off the show over on Twitter because there are some things I want you guys to be aware of if you have not seen them. I have two active giveaways right now that are pretty damn cool that I want you guys to see. I don't want you guys to miss. The first one is this UFC giveaway right here. One person will win $500 in VeChain. And then there were some merch giveaway, some t-shirts, some hats, stuff like that to win as well. All you have to do is follow, like, retweet that tweet to get involved. As you can see, over 1,000 people have liked that tweet. Also, there's that right there. Another $500 giveaway I have active is for Karate Combat. We got an announcement with CloudBet, which is pretty cool. They got KC52 in Miami tomorrow. Unfortunately, not going to be able to make it to that fight, but I will be at the Karate Combat fight in East Denver. Super excited to make it out to Karate Combat in East Denver. And right there, same thing as the VeChain. There is some merch implications as well with hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and the main winner gets $500 in karate. Not bad. Pretty big news today from John Allen Woods, and we're live. Protocol staking rewards are flowing on Algorand. There's the first payout on the Explorer. So, Algorand 4.0 has begun. This is really awesome stuff. I know some of you are immediately going to ask, how do I do staking? How do I do these things? John Allen Woods and we already talked a little bit yesterday. We are going to do an interview where him and I together, step by step, go through everything you need to know how to get involved with staking, how to set up the Para wallet, scan rewards, and hopefully the nodes as well. We're going to knock all of that out in one video. So make sure you stick around. Hopefully, if it's not with next week, it'll be the week after. So definitely keep an eye out for that coming interview with John Allen Woods, the CTO of Algorand. Big shout out to Karate Combat, of course. Another thing, Sonny, Lou, and we did a new interview together. If you missed this interview, definitely go check it out. It's really awesome. A lot came from this interview, but I will touch on a couple small things. One, if VeChain ever gets to $1, Sonny and I are going to get a tattoo of BMO, the VeChain mascot. And if you want to get a BMO tattoo at a $1 VeChain, we'll pay for it. So there you go as well. That's going to be pretty funny. Did hit 40K on Twitter. Pretty awesome. I have toggled between, since I hit 40K, it's been 40.1, 40.2, and then it goes back to 39.9, or it'll hit 40. It's all over the place, but roughly hit 40K. Very cool. Thanks to everyone who's been with me from the very beginning. Only 2 years ago, I saw a screenshot on my time hop. 2 years ago today, we were on the Catching Up to Crypto book tour, and I was just under 3,000 on Twitter. So yeah, over 37,000 subscribers in a 2-year time. Pretty damn cool. Pretty crazy story. Definitely the come up The trading come up, the financial come up is the real story, but the followers that come with it, pretty cool as well. And then so obviously, oh yeah, so Altcoin Daily, the more I learn about Algorand, the more I like. This is kind of a hint maybe for a video that they have coming pretty soon. Not going to speak too much on it, but I did have dinner with Aaron and Austin last night from Altcoin Daily at the famous Rainbow Room in Los Angeles. If you've ever seen the movie The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie on Netflix, it is that restaurant is in that movie. Maybe there's a girl under a table. If you remember the specific scene I'm talking about, that's actually the real restaurant. It's like a famous, like, kind of rocker restaurant right down the street from Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles. And definitely really cool to catch up with the Altcoin Daily brothers, learning how they're attacking this year, the plans that they have. I am going to do an interview Saturday morning with Austin, which for this channel, which is going to be pretty cool. And I did ask the brothers, I said, all right, boys, gun to your head, what are your 3 top picks for this bull run? And their answers, I did not expect their answers. But if you want to know what the Altcoin Daily brothers said, make sure you stick around for the interview I'm doing with Austin. It'll probably come out either Saturday or Sunday. Definitely big shout out to them. Really cool friends of mine. They've had my back for years at this point. And, big shout out to Altcoin Daily, some of the biggest creators in the entire space. Really glad to have spent some time with them. Also, big shout out to Legacy Network, sponsor of the channel. They have big plans for this year. Definitely check out the interview I did with their founder if you haven't already. Definitely, it's a free app that you download basically to discipline, the whole idea of discipline and self-education, kind of things that this channel is built on. We align with that, as they have like an educational platform called Legacy Academy. Here's a quick little ad for them as well. Your gamified personal growth app. Basically, guys, long story short, learn to earn. You do this app and you consecutively, and it's a free app, and you learn about a plethora of topics, and you actually earn crypto by going through this app. So make sure you check out the Legacy Academy or legacynetwork.io, link down below in the description. They are a sponsor of this channel, and I would like to thank them for sponsoring this channel. Pretty badass app. And of course, anything that helps people with self-education, I'm all for it. So big shout out to Legacy Network. I do have a space tomorrow with the people from Somnia Network, my good friend John Vibes. Really cool project. Make sure you set a reminder, be at that space tomorrow. It's going to be really awesome. Actually, that space is today, not tomorrow. That space is today at noon. They definitely come check out that space. And then there is the Karate Combat Suite. So we got 2 live tweets. Wanted to talk about that. But the final giveaway the reason I went through all this, it's not live yet, but Sonny and I, basically, you don't need to see the tweet for this. So Sonny and I have kind of had a bunch of conversations about, kind of crypto and the way people approach crypto content and kind of the gaps in crypto content and some of the things that people, aren't doing. And there's really not any long form type podcasting crypto. Kind of 2 people sitting down talking for 2 hours about anything, just general get to know people below the surface type of conversations. And Sonny has encouraged me to be kind of the first crypto person to do proper long form interviews. And I think that this is something I'm going to pursue. It's not going to be the only thing I do. Of course, it might be something I do once a week, once every other week, as long as it's with someone, very high in the space in their own respect, whether it's, with Altcoin Daily or a large creator or a founder like Sunny Lou, or maybe the people from Algorand, or other people I, am close with. I'm going to do long form podcasts. And so Sunny and I are teaming up, and we're going to do 1 long form podcast every quarter. So, for a year, and for each long form podcast we do together, we are giving away a Tesla. That's right. You heard that correctly. Sunny and I are teaming up to do 4 long form podcasts a year. And at each one, we are giving away a damn Tesla. So there you go. That is obviously a really large piece of news. That's pretty crazy to, help 4 people in my audience win a new Tesla every year. And I would like to even do more of those and like kind of larger personal giveaways and stuff. And, this is something that I've always done. I've always done very, giveaways as much as I could afford as I kind of came up through Twitter. And now I'm at a point where I'm doing a lot of merch giveaways kind of tied in with real money as well. Like I said, I have 2 active $500 giveaways on Twitter, one for Karate Combat, one for VeChain. And then we're literally building to the point where we're giving away 4 brand new Teslas every year. Of course, there will be more details on how you guys can earn them once we get to that point. We're not there yet, but they are coming. And I just wanted you guys to know, hey, you stick around, you might win a Tesla from watching this show. So I find that pretty damn cool. Mike Vollmer, I appreciate the gesture, but I think I got that one covered, buddy. I think I got that one covered. Thinking crypto be long form, yeah, but I mean, honestly, I'm going to be the only person doing long form podcasts, but it's not really a common thing, and I think that I could kind of make it more, be kind of known for it, and to do it, proper. SWFL, here's a really good question. Thoughts on staking in a bull market? This is a really good point, man. So how do I word this? So I feel that if you're hodling, I don't have a problem staking what you're hodling because you're already holding it. You're already holding it long term. But would I let something I'm staking get in the way of my decision to sell it? No. Do I think that traders struggle separating their short-term and their long-term bags? A lot of beginners, especially people without a lot of money, they want to optimize everything the best they can, so they kind of make mistakes everywhere. So if that makes sense, and I feel that sometimes things like staking, things like NFTs, things like yield farming, these are things that if you're not doing them properly, these are things that are distractions from actually learning how to trade. So I don't have a problem with staking as long as you're separating your short-term trades from your long-term trades, and you're not going to let things you're staking get in the way of your long-term decisions. That's where I stand with that. So as long as it's not getting in the way of your real plan, it's fine. But I also wouldn't let it get in the way of what I want to trade. And why do I say this? Because sometimes I get a lot of DMs about like, hey AJ, I bought $1,000 worth at XRP at $1.50, and now it's $2.50. Should I sell? And my answer is always, well, did you make a plan before you bought it? Do you know what your goal for that amount of money is? Every time you buy crypto, anytime money goes from your bank account into crypto, before you click buy on Coinbase or PHEMEX or wherever, have a plan for that purchase. And I know that sounds very common. This is something I've said 100 times. But I say that because, one, I never know if there's someone new watching the show today. They might not know that. And 2, and if you have a bunch of crypto and you're just holding it and you don't have a plan for each and every coin you hold, you need to go back and make one and pragmatically think, okay, what's what do I think this can do? And this is something, the Altcoin Daily Brothers and I talked about last night, is that there are, kind of some accounts out there that straight up lie to the audience saying, oh, XRP is going to $1,000 this bull run, or HBAR is going to $20 this bull run. Like when you see kind of really unrealistic price prediction type videos, or just even short clips that are literally created to get your attention, but the wrong type of trader could listen to this video and be like, oh wow, this is actually happening. And then since they have this number in their head that's unattainable, they will ride it all the way to the top and think, oh, we still have so far to go, and they won't take any profits. And then they ride it all the way to the bottom because that number is never going to come. So achievable goals, ladies and gentlemen, achievable goals. All right. For sure. Let me check the chat here for a second. Oleg, if I stake, let's say 30K algo, what will be my reward? So I believe it's between 5 and 6%, as long as there's a certain amount staked, was the exact number. It's very competitive. I believe it's better than Solana. Definitely go back and watch my the staking interview with John Allen Woods. But it's very competitive for staking compared to other projects. I forget the exact number, but it is damn good. All right, let me definitely scroll down on the chat here. Who love today said, I hope it's not too cold out there. It's a little, I'm wearing 2 hoodies right now, but I like being outside, having, the fresh morning air. Big fan of that. Hey, someone deleted RPMs. RPMs says, hey, yeah, apparently I'm full of trash. I'm full of trash. Okay. Well, people can have their opinion, but some of us did get into crypto and kind of work our asses off every single day. I made this my life. This is my full-time job. As a result of doing this, I became a millionaire, and I do this now, not for the money, but to help other people replicate my success. I have a Telegram group with over 300 traders in it. When I did a Black Friday sale, more than half of the traders already in the group added another year on to their Telegram subscription, telling me that these people are winning, these people are getting value out of what I'm saying, and I've certainly have helped a lot of people make serious strides in crypto. So everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I am also going to defend myself and say that you're wrong and you don't understand, where I'm coming from. And that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm also going to defend myself and just tell you that you're wrong. So 5X or bust, baby. I'm with you on that. Darren O'Brien says, have you looked at Supra? Very funny that you say that, because like I said earlier in the show, when I had dinner with Aaron and Austin last night, one of Aaron's 3 picks was Supra. I'm not going to say any of their other picks, but one of Aaron's 3 picks was Supra. So I'll just leave that there. So there you go. Are you still bullish on the graph and optimism? Yes, I am. So do I feel that the graph and optimism both grossly underperformed in their last push up? Yeah, they definitely did underperform. I was certainly surprised to see the graph underperform to the degree that it did, mainly because the graph, the querying numbers, what the graph actually does, multiplied immensely. So the activity for the utility the graph serves on the blockchain increased as everything else increased in price, but the graph didn't, do what Algorand and HBAR or VeChain did in price. So although it underperformed, I'm still bullish because what it's actually used for is doing very well. So I think it's one of those things, and same with optimism, right? Optimism is a kick-ass blockchain. I think that it serves its purpose. It's connected to a lot of top projects, and although it underperformed in price, it still does very good in other metrics on the blockchain itself. And guys, this is why we diversify. Because it's kind of insane to not be split up as evenly as possible. And of course, there are people that put all their eggs in one basket that will say, you know what, I only have $20,000 or less than $20,000, and I am going to, put all my money in this one project, or go 50-50 in these 2 projects. And I get why people do that, but it's also a rookie move. It's a big time rookie move. And do I feel that, if you are split between as evenly as possible between 10 to 12 coins, do I think that the graph and optimism deserve a spot in that top 12? I believe you could make an argument for that. I have large amounts of the graph and optimism, and I also know that the pump that we saw Thanksgiving time and back in December, that wasn't the top of the bull run, not even close. So although they underperformed in that push up, doesn't mean they're going to underperform in the larger bull market. So it's worth keeping track of. Okay, these didn't do what we thought they would, what we thought they would on that push up, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to perform, period. So certainly worth keeping an eye on. That's a very, very good question. Dylan Breer, hey man, join your platinum membership if we haven't got an email back or anything. Yeah, just send a follow-up email, Dylan. The team has been really good about scheduling the platinum calls. I literally did 2 platinum calls yesterday. Just send a follow-up email. If you got missed, we apologize. We are keeping up on all the things. We've been posting in the Telegram group just about every day, although we're traveling, and we will right that wrong, man. So it's nothing personal, not like we intentionally missed you. Just send a follow-up email and we will try our best to get back to that. I don't touch the emails anymore. I have people that do the emails for me and they schedule the calls. So if yours fell beneath the cracks, full apologies, and we will right the ship on that. I pinky promise you. So just send a follow-up email and we will get back to you today for sure. I'm very sorry about that. So Matt B, what's your target for the price action we're experiencing right now? On what project? All right, so Niels in the chat says currently got 1K to start, been watching trading videos for a while, but I'm not sure how to actually start doing it on my own, and I'm still a bit scared. Anyone got tips? All right, so Niels, if you have $1,000 to start with crypto right now, what I would say is that it's easy in crypto to kind of get ahead of yourself. And we will look at the Bitcoin chart after. I want to help Niels out here for a second. So Niels, it is really easy to get ahead of yourself early in your crypto experience. You only have $1,000, and you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere, and that's totally fine. But you will feel like you're missing out. You will feel like every video you watch, whether it's a coin review or a price prediction from other people, what you're going to feel like is, oh no, I'm missing out on everything. And and you're going to make a lot of mistakes because you're going to want to be too spread out. So what I would say is that if you're specifically talking about getting better at leverage trading, I would start extremely small, if not paper trading, because leverage trading $1,000, that could go really fast. That could be a big mistake. In one trade, you could lose your whole bag. So obviously, since you're a beginner, I would spend as much time as you can, like minimum 3-4 hours a day, researching projects, watching videos like this, watching tutorials, taking notes, kind of learning taking the strides in, what is an RSI, what is a MACD, what's a volume profile, what's an EMA strategy, how do I change timeframes, go through the basics every single day, because crypto isn't something that you just throw your money at and it magically multiplies by 10. Some people think that. Those people are wrong. But crypto is a lifestyle. This is something that we do every day. This is something that we consciously spend time on and focus on every day. So keep stacking slowly over time, even if it's $20 a week, you know what I mean? And progressively learn more and more as you go. Even on PHEMEX, you can paper trade on PHEMEX, and just learn how to do it without any real stakes. But what I would say, since you're specifically talking about leverage trading, is that if you only have $1,000, you should not put the entire bag in one trade. In fact, you shouldn't trade with more than 3 or 4% of your bag in any trade, which kind of leaves you at a very small amount of money, but that's okay. So either paper trade to get the repetition in, because it's about hours logged. How many hours have you spent locked in trades, managing trades, making those decisions? And kind of 10,000 hours to learn a skill, very similar to trading, if not more. So if you do $10 trades, that's okay. You know what I mean? And if you can get to a point where you can kind of rinse, repeat, and you're winning 2-3% at a time, and then you can slowly increase your capital as you go. And as you're increasing your capital, you have been logging in the hours locked on the charts, and you've been logging the hours actually learning about the projects, watching tutorials, learning what the environment you're in. Because if you just throw it all in one trade, not knowing the environment you're in, you're just going to get wrecked. So I don't want to see that. And what I'll say, Niels, is that it's okay that this is your first bull market. This very rarely do people show up with $1,000 and retire after one bull market. It might take you 2 or 3. So this is the beginning of a very long journey, and embrace it. So I'll leave that there. Matt B, my weakness is force trading with high leverage, slowly learning and trying to replace it. That's fair. But you gotta not let the greed win, man. You can't let the greed win. I know too many people that kind of got to a point where they understood trading enough to get in trouble. If that makes sense, and you feel that pressure, like, oh, this needs to happen, this has to work out. And it's a very similar situation, like with playing poker. Like if you are playing in a game with, say you have $1,000 to your name and your entire net worth is on the poker table in front of you, you're not going to make good decisions in that game. You're going to like play that game like your life depends on it, because it does. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that would be the best way to go about things. But once you get to a point where you don't care about the money in front of you and you're playing the game for the sake of playing the game and you're making decisions based off, being game theory optimal, you're much likely to play better because you're not worried about the money. So it's really, well, I mean, this is what I get into this with my Telegram group all the time about kind of separating the value from money, kind of rewiring your relationship with money. Because once you do that and you kind of raise the stakes in your brain on what's like a normal amount of money, that's when you kind of unlock that door. And and I say this all the time, that leverage traders that I know that are really good traders all come from some sort of poker or gambling background. Because if you say you play a 2-5 poker game and you have $1,000 in front of you and you play that game for 8 hours, in that 8 hours of time, you will watch thousands of dollars get exchanged around this table. You'll watch, a couple thousand go this way, a couple thousand go that way, money come back to you, money going out. You see that flow of money, that ebb and flow, that roller coaster ride of money. And you get to a point where you do that for so long that you might think to yourself in the beginning, oh, wow, that guy just made $2,000. And you might feel like that's a lot of money in your brain. But then as you play for longer and longer, you realize, wow, that's really not that much money. And then when you see someone win a $20,000 pot, you're like, oh man, that guy won 20 grand. That's a lot of money. And then you'll get to a point where, wow, that's not even really that much money. And then as you continue to increase stakes and you play bigger games as time goes on, you kind of move that baseline of what is normal up in your brain. So I get to a point now where it's like, if there's not like 50, 60, $100,000 on the line, I don't even care. I don't think twice about it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where you will slowly move that baseline up as you go. And once that baseline gets pretty high and what you consider normal, things obviously change for you. So, just keep investing in yourself before you start trading real money. Well said, Rags and Richie. Very strong comment right there. Keep hammering. Can you do a members video on trading strategy with the Telegram group? Been trading 3 years now. I understand levels, but what's the strategy or checklist, if you will? Thanks, dude. Yeah, keep hammering. This is something that we do basically every members only live stream. That question you just asked is answered in just about every members only live stream. So definitely become a member. Go back and watch the other members only live streams. We have what we like to refer to as the Confluence checklist. This is answered in every one, and we'll do another members live stream tomorrow. And make sure that you're present and you're watching the members only live streams live as they happen, because you can actually use that time to specifically ask questions about specific positions or specific charts that we're talking about, or trades I posted in the group. That is that question for sure. TNet Crypto just emailed you an altcoin market cap projection sheet I've been working on. Check it out if you have time. All right, TNet, I'll definitely ask my email team to send me that over. You sent it to the AJ Alpha Group one, right? I've only been a member a week. Okay, that explains it. Keep hammering. My advice to you is to keep hammering, and it will make sense as it goes. I promise you. There are and what I will also say about the Telegram group, definitely, if you want to join the Telegram group, send me an email, ajalphagroup@gmail.com. What I will say is that there's 2 channels in the group. One is just where I post my setups, and the other one is for the group. And the traders in the one that are for the group are doing so good. And they post their own setups. There's a handful of traders in there, who you are, that answer questions for beginners, you know, if someone's asking, how do I use an RSI? I mean, that's not a question I'm going to answer. That's a question that someone in the group that's been here for a while is going to help you and say, oh, I know what that is, and help, you know what I mean? And as the questions get more complicated, that's when you use those questions for members only. And the traders in the group are very good, and they will help you along in your journey as well. So definitely use that second channel as a resource. If you're not using that second channel, you're not making the most out of the group. All right. So, but glad to see the Grogger Nation growing. Amazing. Connor Lang, what do you think the next leg up will be in the crypto market for altcoins? Well, let's talk about that. You know, I have been hanging out with the chat here for a little while. I do tend to do that. Got about 150 people on YouTube, more than that on Twitter. Thank you guys for being here. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member if you haven't already. And so let's dive into some charts here. I wanted to start at Bitcoin. Let's start at Bitcoin. So let's pull this on over here. All right, so let's kind of zoom out here for a second. All right, so here is kind of the story of Bitcoin. So we had our bull flag. Let me get rid of this for a second. We had our bull flag, right? Where's my brush? So we kind of spent a lot of 2024 kind of in this consolidation, sideways flag type, situation. And then basically said, once we break out of the bull flag, we have to break the previous all-time high, which was this level here. And once we get through that level, then we can have a conversation about the next leg of the market. And of course, not too long ago, we broke through that level. Let me get my volume profile here going as well. So now we are here at the next phase of the market. And since then, it has not been the easiest times of trading. I just had a pretty long conversation with CryptoFace on the phone 2 nights ago. And he said, man, I've been kind of sitting back a little bit and kind of watching I've been streaming here and there. I've been trading here and there with these conditions. Although the price is high, the conditions this is not easy trading for Bitcoin specifically right now. This is not, ultimately, since we entered this new range where 90,722, this would be like the new floor. Okay. And if you ever refresh your phone and you see Bitcoin below this $90,000 level, understand that as quick as Bitcoin came through this level, which was big support resistance right here, and we see how we kind of very quickly shot up to this new floor. All right. And you kind of have this big gap in this volume profile kind of explains that. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if we ever lose 90,700 and change and we get into the 80s, we're probably very likely going to come back down into, mid 70s, 73, something like that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but there's a big gap in the volume profile there. And it's worth noting and having an alarm there saying, okay, if we lose that, obviously not the best time to be in a long trade. Okay. So another level that's really important is right here. All right. And this level here is let's just call it 100K. It's 99,973. Let's just call it 100K right here where we dipped here. All right. Kind of perfect support resistance here. We kind of held that right here. All right. And a lot of the trading that we've seen, this ranging that we've seen has happened since we kind of have let me get that back. Push that back. Since we've had our new floor here, we kind of have bounced sideways back and forth through here, and anything above this level has been basically an outlier, right? These have all just been kind of outlier type situations. So that kind of splits that range for you. And these other smaller levels here, I will kind of get rid of these for now. This was for a very specific trade that we talked about in the group that's not really relevant right now. So I will get rid of these for the sense of the distraction they are. Kind of very local levels. But as of right now, we are above the 50 EMA, which is really strong for continuation. It is a little scary that we do kind of have this little red dot. We're at the top of this momentum wave here. And although we put in a slightly higher high, I would say the true support resistance here would be 106,700. So 106.7. I could even type that in here so you guys can see it. Text boom 106.7. All right. So So this is kind of the gist of the ranges, despite there is a higher high here. All right. So when we kind of so I always kind of start by zooming out, looking at it daily and kind of investigating from there. And from here, you could kind of draw this uptrend as well, which we will get into as we zoom in on time frames. It'll like make a little bit more sense. We'll go from here to like a 6 hour, right? So here is the ultimate range, the box of trading that we've had since we've entered this new support resistance level, the new higher range once everything has gone up. Okay. So from here, we can extrapolate a couple things. One, we can extrapolate additional support resistance levels. A couple of them, like, right here, very close levels that have been tested time and time again, right around 102.5. There's a couple of smaller levels down the hill a little bit around 90, 94.4, little levels like that. But ultimately, what I want to talk about is the most recent uptrend. You could draw this a couple ways. Way number one you could draw is the way I already have it, where you kind of cut this outlier out and drive it straight through there. You could draw it that way. Or if you'd want to draw it, quote, perfect, you could pull it to here, pull it to here. And so kind of going from the bottom wick of this, the body of the candle on the 6 hour chart from here. And then you're going to connect that to where we turned around right here. And as you can see on the 6 hour chart, since we've started this leg up, we have bounced off. Once we got above right here, we bounced off the 50 EMA, bounced off the 50 EMA, bounced off the 50 EMA. And this is something actually I talked about last night at dinner with Altcoin Daily, is that a lot of professional trading strategies, whether that's stock market traders, more traditional type, crypto traders, a lot of it is derived from some sort of EMA strategy on a specific time frame. So, for instance, my personal professional scalping strategy is an EMA strategy based off of either the 23-minute or the 12-minute time frame for my scalps. But the same strategy could be used for a different trader, except on a larger time frame in a different sector of finance. You know what I mean? You could use a very similar strategy, but on a 2-week chart on stocks. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things come from that 50 EMA, that 200 EMA type confluence paired with other ideas, whether that's volume profiles, whether that's heat maps, whether that's oscillators like RSIs, MACD, or market ciphers. Very similar ideas to that, or some sort of range. I pair. So basically, the gist of my strategy is that I pair an EMA strategy with oscillators, with volume, with conditional ranges of support resistance levels. So in a situation like where we are right now, I would say, okay, well, we bounced off of the 50 EMA. We're above the 50 EMA. So in my strategy, I'm not going short until we lose this bullish structure, which is this uptrend right here, or until we lose the 50 EMA, and by then you will have already lost that bullish structure. So right here, we're in a period of bullish continuation. And I know that because, like I said, we have bounced off the 50, bounced off the 50, bounced off the 50, which is, clear cut case of bullish continuation. The problem is that although the price is pushing up, the highest point of the oscillator was right here. And if we kind of pair that up with where we were on the chart, the highest point on the oscillator on the chart was right here. And although the price has increased, the oscillator has pushed down, kind of forming a little bit of bearish divergence. So this is we're kind of getting mixed signals in our confluence right now. That's okay. That's okay. So what we do is simply we draw an additional alarm at the previous all-time high, which is Bitcoin's for real all-time high, which was printed on Sunday. That would be at 109.6, so just under 110,000. And as you can see, we are kind of wicking at this 106.7 level. So from there, what do we do again? We zoom in, we investigate again, because when I said we're all right on the 6 hour, we looked at the 6 hour. Now we're looking at the 2 hour. I'm doing this on purpose. This is all for a reason, because now that we're looking at the 2 hour, you can see that, okay, where we were bouncing off the 50 EMA, on the 2 hour, we're bouncing off of the 200 EMA. All right. So now we are still in a form of bullish continuation. So now that we have kind of started this little EMA sandwich. We broke back above that. Couple ways to look at this moving forward as from a 2-hour time frame is that if we clear across that previous high, my computer kind of froze on me. 1 second. So if we clear this previous high right here at 106.7, which is also kind of double top idea from this previous bunch here, because so this is kind of getting into short-term time frame methodology, which is what I want to talk about. So ultimately, if you look at Bitcoin as in like a box, this current box of chop, the box that it's in right here. All right. So we get our measuring stick. We come over here and say, since this broke down right here, Bitcoin for the past, so for the past 3 days and 2 hours, Bitcoin has ranged inside of a 5.6% range. All right. And so what does that mean? That means for the past 3 days and 4 hours, Bitcoin it's been stuck inside of a range of 5%. So we're not really trying to target. I don't really care what happens inside of this box. We don't care about this. Okay. We care about the break of this. And ultimately, if we're talking bullish continuation here, I'm not really trying to long Bitcoin unless we break that previous high. And I would short Bitcoin if and when, let me get rid of the box I just drew, if and when we lose this box, but the other way, and we lose structure. So this is what I mean by a quote conditional range. So what do I mean by conditional range is that we don't care about, and even if you if you eliminate this outlier right here, that little, let me try to, if you eliminate this and you look at this box of chop like this, okay, and we kind of get our measuring stick. So from this point, Thursday, January 16th, and we pull this across to now, other than that little teeny outlier, Bitcoin has spent the past 7 days and 2 hours inside of a 6.5% range. So why does this matter? This matters because, so here is this box I just talked about. And this is 6.5% range. We do not care what happens in the range. We care about the break of the range. So when Bitcoin hits a price, when an alarm goes off that hasn't gone off in over a week, about 6 days and change, that's a significant occurrence. So a lot of my trading strategy is more based off of, we are only trading when a significant occurrence happens. If you're trying to chase this box, and look how sideways this box has been, since we entered this box, we've had one push down, 2 pushes up, 2 pushes down, 3 pushes up, 3 pushes down, 4 pushes up, and 3 pushes down inside a 6% range in the past 6.5 days. This is not manageable trading. This isn't trading that you can follow accurately and get every impulse up and every impulse down. And this is kind of something a lot of traders struggle with, that they want to, if I exit along, well, I should be entering a short, right? Or if I'm getting out of a short, I should be going long, right? No, you shouldn't. You should be waiting for a significant occurrence, because if we're in this box, like I said, which started right here, ignoring the outliers, we are only looking to trade Bitcoin when we have a break of a significant occurrence. And as you can see, this is continuing. This thought pattern is continuing, because in the course of this conversation, Bitcoin has hit 106.7 and has already wicked down to 105.5. And are you going to catch that quick short at support resistance every single time? No, you're not. But you can catch the breaks of these levels, the breaks of these ranges. And that is where the magic happens. All right. So I did go a little bit down the rabbit hole on this one, and I will always be the trader to kind of really explain that to you guys, because I feel like a lot of traders kind of want to keep the keys to the gate and kind of, they like pretend like they have these secrets. I'm not going to like try to act like I have these secrets. The secrets are, don't get caught up in trading the range. Only trade when we break the range, which would be the break of previous all-time high at 109.5, or the break of this previous low here at 99.3. This sideways range, this is for the birds, guys. This is for the birds. The break of the range is what you're really looking for. So And that's when, and then so if you're talking about, well, which way is it going to break? That's when you get into macro analytics. Well, what's inflation doing? What's CPI doing? Obviously now that we have a new crypto president, the tides continue to shift, and that ultimately becomes a guess. That ultimately becomes a guess, and guessing is not what you're doing if you're a professional trader. If you're guessing, you're guessing. If you're reacting, you're winning. All right. So that's why conditionally ranging trades and only not trading when you feel like it, but when a significant thing happens that hasn't happened in a week, when that alarm goes off, that's when AJ gets involved. That's when my friends enter the trades. So shout out to all the love in the chat. I did see a super chat go off there. Shout out to Marco Polo. Shout out to Ogre, Mike Nelson, Mike Lowry. Appreciate all of the love in the chat. Jake Morrow, that I completely disagree with that chat, man. Altcoin Daily, those guys are definitely not sellouts. They are very hard workers. And when you say engagement farming, that's a really manipulative way to look at it, man, because there is a point where you have to play the game. Social media is the business of attention. It's the business of attention. And they make their living off of that game. So when you say engagement farming, in my brain, that sounds like they're getting likes. That sounds like they're getting views. That sounds like they're putting money, they're putting food on the table. That is the game. You know what I mean? And there are traders that care more about helping people trade, helping people make money. But that doesn't make it more pure or less pure, or that doesn't give anyone higher moral ground. That's a really manipulative way to look at it. In my opinion, they're playing the game, and they play it very well. In fact, they're the largest crypto social media platform probably in the world. So to deduce that and call it engagement farming is very unfair and manipulative. So I don't like the way you're looking at that, man. That's not really fair. MJ, $10 super chat. Appreciate the $10, man. I do appreciate it. I've been holding Ethereum since 700. Which are you more confident? Solana hitting 1,000 or Ethereum hitting 10K? So a this or that type statement. Okay. Well, let's look at the this or that type statement for my guy MJ and his $10 super chat here. So, let's just kind of look at the flat numbers here. So what would it require for Ethereum to hit 10K, and what it would require for Solana to hit 1K? We are going to kind of ignore tokenomics here, and we're just kind of going to look at Hey, sorry, I clicked the wrong button in my studio here. Let me get back to where I was. Sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button, and I thought I lost my stream, but I didn't lose my stream. Thank God. So sorry about that. So yeah, what would it take for Ethereum to hit 10K? What would it take for Solana to hit 1,000? So let's go over here to the handy website, thecoinperspective.com, to look at, the kind of the math behind this situation here. Let me just go like this. Ethereum. I don't want to go to Caspa ETH. All right, it's going to take a second to load here. Let me check the chat while I'm doing this. I have not seen a new Trump announcement. Feel free to link that. I have not seen it yet. Nope. I want to see what's happening with this website. Let me get a fresh refresh here. My Wi-Fi isn't the best. Are we going to get a bull market? I'm not very sure how to pronounce your name there, sir. Let me be very clear about something. Anytime there is a bit of uncertainty, people, especially when money's involved and your own hard-earned money is involved, it's very easy for people to let your doubts get the worst of you. This might be because you are overexposed. People that make mistakes tend to get very emotional. I've seen it firsthand. Believe me, I've struggled with it myself. Obviously, because if there's going to be a point where you make a lot of money in crypto, it's because you took a lot of risk. You took a big chance. And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with, is that they are unwilling to take that big chance because of the doubt. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm uncertain, I'm wrong? Let me put this as clearly as I possibly can. If there was ever a time in the history of since I've been in crypto to get excited about the future, it would be right now. It would be right now. Trump, man, and I will speak on my opinion on Trump token in general and that whole thing, which is a different topic, but it's kind of all combined because it kind of ties into his outlook, where before Trump coin, it's kind of an argument over, is it legal or illegal to release any crypto coin in America? And there will be pro crypto people that would still argue no to that. There is no legal way to do it. It's illegal. It's you're selling securities, is what some people that go by the book would tell you. And then I would always say, well, it kind of feels to me like we are using a rule book written from the 1930s to put laws to oranges to regulate the future of finance, and that doesn't feel like those two worlds should collide. And I feel that crypto very much needs its own set of rules, and I believe that is what we're going to get. I believe that Trump sees the opportunity with crypto. Trump sees that there is money to be made, and very business-minded guy. And I think that the market's always going to make you second guess yourself. I'm not surprised that, there were crypto influencers out there basically saying, oh, once Trump gets inaugurated, we're going to the moon. We're shooting up immediately. Here we go. And I kind of thought to myself, that's kind of too obvious, that, that it's too simple. It's too simple. It's going to take time, considering there is kind of issues with the macro that we were supposed to get, kind of more interest slashes. Now we're only looking at one more interest slash. We kind of still have to deal with inflation. Even, my big pick with Jasmine and my 100K portfolio wasn't the best buy because I didn't consider Japan's interest hikes. The reason Jasmine fell under 3 cents is because Japan increased interest, and Jasmine is basically the Bitcoin of Japan. And that is something I didn't consider. But does that mean that it's all over because something didn't happen the second we thought it would? Absolutely not. There's a bumblebee. So it's one of those deals where, guys, be patient. Let this year play out. I wholeheartedly believe that what we saw Thanksgiving, December, was not the top, not even close. We have a long way to go. And it comes down to, do you believe in crypto? Do you believe in this industry, or are you going to let your doubts get in your way? That's it. It is that simple. All right. So let's answer our guy MJ's question here. Kind of got some of this to load. So Ethereum, our target price for Ethereum would be 10K. So for Ethereum to reach $10,000, wow, that's actually kind of crazy to think about, would be a $1.2 trillion market cap for Ethereum to hit 10K. That does feel bloody expensive. I think it's possible. I do think it's possible, but a $1.2 trillion market cap for Ethereum, that does feel like a whole lot of money, man. I don't know about you, but you kind of get my point with what I'm saying here. So let me go here, find Solana. Yeah, this is loading really slow on me now. Oh, I'm still bullish on Jasmine. But it's just one of those things that the macro got in the way, you know what I mean? And that happens, but it's also, we're so early, guys. It's only January. Trump just got in the office, and there's still not a clear-cut regulatory pathway. And I feel that once we have that, a lot of the stresses will be alleviated, And once we go from there, people will feel safer. And yes, you understand that 70% of the volume from the stock market happens in indexes. Did you know that? So 70%, say it one more time. 70% of the transactional volume in the stock market happens in indexes. What do I mean by an index? Like the S&P 500 is an index, like where it takes the publicly leading 500 companies and slams them all together, and basically the average of those, the performance of those 500 companies is used as like a measuring stick for the overall performance and health of the stock market. And so basically you could say index, like, an index as in 100 tech projects, or a bag or a basket of, 40 leading AI coins or something like that. You guys realize that crypto doesn't properly have indexes yet. And the reason indexes are so important is because, the whale money, the big, deep pocket stock market money, it's a big deal for them to even buy Bitcoin. We're talking people that don't want, that 6xing isn't on their agenda. We're talking people that if they get 10% in a year, they're happy. They're happy. All right. So when you look at that deep pocket whale type money, you have to realize that crypto still has to mature more and become less volatile for them to get involved. And once indexes enter the picture with crypto properly, I think then we'll see some steam pick up. And I think a proper regulatory framework is required for that to happen. So I'm still trying to get my website loaded here for the Solana talk, but I will get that in a second. Let me check the chat. Sean Cost, do you think Algo can get the $5 or is $2 a realistic top? It depends, man, because one staking, really just started today. Like, the first staking rewards literally just went out today. And there is certainly some studies done on, what has happened in the past, on what has happened to market caps once staking begins. Because once staking begins, it immediately begins to lock up a growing percentage of the circulating supply. And as those coins get removed, it kind of creates like pressure that pushes the price up over time. So if the staking element is executed properly, I think Algorand could go further than most analysts think. The reason people kind of got confused with me when I was saying, Algorand is like 300 and some percent away from $1. I'm not, when I said that, I wasn't saying I'm selling at $1. I was saying, guys, that's a feasible goal. This is something that I feel that's definitely going to happen this run. And, it's not often in financial sectors can we just multiply our money by 3 or 4, and it's normal. You know what I mean? So what I meant by that was, do I think you can go higher than $1? Of course I do. But it's also, look at this opportunity that's right in front of us. That's a manageable risk for a manageable return. And I think people kind of lose sight of that. But it's also, Sean, it's not, can Algorand go to 2 or 5? It's, do you need Algorand to go to 2 or 5? Because what I think happens is that people will only kind of unload their money into what they think can perform the highest. Well, really, it's not about what can perform the highest. It's what your goals are. And if your goals are unrealistic, basically, if anyone across the board needs more than a 6 or 7x, I would say your goals are too high. I would say you need to manage your risk better, because the last thing I want to see is anyone right to the top and right to the bottom because of greed. Because of, I multiply my money by 5. Well, I could sell and take and leave with this 5x. But what if it's 6x's? What if it's 7x's? And that what if is what gets you in trouble. And if you 5x a bag and you don't take anything off the table, it's your own fault. So, it's kind of more of a strategy. I understand the question. Can Algorand go to $2 or $5? But that has everything to do with a strategy. You know what I'm saying? So I think Algorand is likely to end up in the ballpark of $1.50 to $3, in all honesty. And I've said different price predictions along the way. Currently, I'm in the $1.50 to $3 range, and I know that's a large range, but also there is uncertainty involved because we don't know how well staking is going to go. We don't know how much of the supply is about to get staked in the next week. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make a fully formed opinion with a fraction of the information, and it's something I don't like to do. So I will have a more firm grasp on an updated Algorand price prediction as we start to see the full picture with staking. I am still trying to get the coin perspective to load for Solana right now, and it is not working. So MJ, I might have to answer that question another day because I don't have the best of Wi-Fi, but I still wanted to make an effort to stream today. So I would like to know what it would take for Solana. Hey, Ogre in the chat, I know you're listening. Can you go to the coin perspective and tell me what Solana's market cap would be if it went to $1,000, please? And thank you. I know you're watching. Beer Noob 21, alts are lagging so bad. Will we see an proper alt season? Of course we will. Of course we will. You know, why do I know this? Because this has happened every single time. Right around the time you throw your hands in the air and give up, it is normally right around the time it happens. And every single bull market, there is always that moment of time where, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then ultimately the answer to that question was yes, it is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. 2025 is a long year. And when you look at Bitcoin dominance, this is what is holding your favorite altcoins back. All right. And look, what this right here is November 21st, and this right here is December 4th. And that fall from 61.8% to 54.7%. This is all it took. Literally, let's just use even numbers. Let's say 62 to 54. So base, without the decimals, around 7 to 8% of a drop percentage in Bitcoin dominance gave us that insane pump that we saw over Thanksgiving, Christmas time. And that wasn't much for dominance to bleed. That gave a lot of money back to the altcoins. The problem is that since then, Bitcoin dominance has been trending up. All right. And we do kind of have a little bit of an ascending triangle right here. If we ignore this little outlier wick and kind of use the body of the candle, kind of look at this ascending triangle, kind of like that. Watching the break of this could be important. This measured move actually could, roughly, take us back up and put in a higher high if it breaks up like in a normal ascending triangle. Wouldn't surprise me if it did. And let's not forget, guys, we are in Bitcoin's house. Crypto altcoins all live inside Bitcoin's house. Bitcoin is grandpa. And this is another example of this is Bitcoin's bull run. And the altcoins get what's left. Basically, once people take profits with Bitcoin and roll them into altcoins, that is why when dominance falls, altcoins rise. So when you kind of look at that in a vacuum, and you kind of look at like a 2-hour chart and you realize, okay, well, from this fall back here was the main push for in 2021. I mean, that was the main bull run. And guys, that was from 73, 74, to 38. It's not 8. There's a lot more than 8%, where we saw what we saw from here to here, when a real bull run is here to here falling in dominance. So obviously, when one Bitcoin has a more proper Bitcoin dominance has a more proper break of structure, it has broken down of the large ascending wedge that we got, and it is kind of fighting inside of him. Let me get some of this distraction out of the way here. Let me pull this back. Sorry for the wait. take some time here. But honestly, it is kind of the same alarms over and over. Right now, we're at 59% even. I would like to see the break of 57.1. After that, I'd like to see the break of 54.5. I would say the loss of 54.5 right here would be a proper break, because this was the previous low. So if we kind of turned down from here and formed a downtrend like this, that would kind of be what we're looking for. So I would set a big alarm for dominance at 54.65. That is the level you want to see it break. That dominance level breaks, we're going to have a party at the altcoin in-law house. All right. So that's really what we're looking for in a vacuum. But yeah, time takes time. Ogre says if Solana was worth 1,000, its market cap would be 486.6 billion. All right. So to answer MJ's $10 super chat earlier, for a $10,000 Ethereum, it would take 1.2 trillion. And according to Ogre, a $1,000 Solana would be a $486.6 billion Solana. Considering, so this is Solana is the go-to smart contract platform for this bull run. I would say Solana's more likely to hit 1,000 than Ethereum is likely to hit 10,000. If they were racing, I would say I would bet on the Solana horse. I don't know if there is a world where they both get there. But if they were racing and that was the finish line, I would bet on Solana. Just because it requires a lot more money for Ethereum to get to 1.2 trillion. Things start changing as you kind of get at $100 billion is an unfathomable amount of money, and you're asking for that a lot more times. Where Solana, less than half a trillion, you're already at the finish line, and it's the go-to. Like Trump releases a meme coin and it's on Solana. I feel like Solana is going to win that race. D Kane, can you look at GFI? It's lost a lot of buzz, and I'm curious what you see on the charts. Thanks, man. Congrats on the baby. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, we can look at GFI, but then I'm gonna hit the road here. GFI. All right, let me go crypto. Kraken. I'm just pulling a random chart. All right, so also really fast. We got about 150 people on YouTube, a lot more than that on Twitter. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate each and every one of you. So this thing, doesn't have the best. God, why do I keep drawing these random lines? Doesn't have the best, immediate structure. It kind of has we went on this sweet pump that got rejected around the top of where we started, and then we gave it all back. And that's really not the best case scenario. You kind of look at this low here at $1.18. I would say $1.16.7. We lose that, I would say get out forever, run away. This isn't a coin I've ever bought. This is a coin I've looked at a couple times because people have asked me to look at it. But I don't. I have looked at it a couple times, but I haven't ever aped into this coin. So when you kind of look at the kind of downtrend here, it's kind of hard to draw this downtrend without like missing something, because if you go to connect that, you kind of get shut down here. And why is this downtrend so hard to draw? Because it's kind of similar to Algorand, where this is more of a curved downtrend. And yes, that is a real thing, like an isotopic curvature. That's what is what's happening here. What I don't hate is that it has a really, really juiced up candle on the 6 hour from that local floor here. I mean, this thing is up 22%, 20% in the past, in the past single candle. Another thing I like about it is that we kind of had a lower low here with the anchor wave, trigger wave, bullish divergence on the 6 hour time frame. What I would really like to see on this is, we already kind of have cleared this previous floor here, which would have been a conditional level. So at 138.1, I would say get out if we lost that level, considering we're at 142 now. And the next big target would be this previous high at 154.4. Once we get past 154.4, my target after that would be 175. And then once we get past that, that's when we kind of run into the volume issue, because this is kind of the gist of this volume profile here. But using that to your advantage from the current price to the top of this volume profile, that is still about a 21% trade that you could use as like a targeted trade, because it could continue past this point. But the reason it stayed suppressed here is because when we look at this entire box of chop, look at where the volume is. And then we kind of got to fall through here to get up back into this previous conversation. So, those are the main alarms that I would look at right now, where if we break 153, 151, we're looking really pretty. And of course, from top to bottom, the alarms, I have 248 at the very top, a lot lower, 171.6, below that 1.548, below that 137.6. Those are the main alarms I'm looking at GFI right now. All right. There are a couple other charts I want to get to that I'm not going to have time to get through today. I do want to talk about Karate Combat for a moment. So this is the chart that I've done several videos on, kind of making the connection between, okay, every time there is a fight, there is a pump. The previous 5 fights have led to the previous 5 pumps, 112%. 55%, 67%, 70%, 107%. And we called this last 107% one right here before it happened. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. All right. But now we're in a position where here the next fight is literally tomorrow, and we are still in the value area. We are still down here in the value area, which isn't the best place to be. Of course, big alarm at 0.00055, which is the top of this value area, which has been the most powerful support resistance level. It has kind of respected the floor of this value area quite well. But guys, I want you to keep in mind that just because the fight is tomorrow doesn't mean this pump cannot happen. Why is that? Because as you can see from the fights here, the only time the pump happened the day of the fight was in Nashville at KC48, all the way back in July. After that, all right, the KC49 happened here. The pump was after the fight. KC50 happened here. The pump was after the fight. And then the past 2 events, the pump happened first, and then the fight happened. So it has gone since Nashville. It was the day of. Then it went fight, pump, fight, pump. Then it went pump, fight, pump, fight. And now here we are again. But inevitably, using the past 5 examples, every time there's been a fight, there's been a pump. And ultimately, since the fight's tomorrow and we haven't pumped yet, and every pump has been within 11 to, generally 11 to 14 days, sometimes a couple days less than the fight, we can, if we're going to stick to this model, we can kind of project that maybe by February 6th, I'm going to draw this line here to kind of just see what's happening here. And also remember, if we break 00055, there is a low volume node that starts at 00062 and ends at 0007, which is a low volume node that's good for 17.5%, which is why we broke through this and lost through this, broke through this, lost through this. And that is kind of baked in gains that have been good every time this thing has kicked off. So is this the time that we lose this? I don't think so. I think this is going to continue its pattern of the relationships between fights and pumps. So big shout out to Karate Combat, another sponsor of the channel. Very awesome of them. Also, like I said at the beginning of the show, big shout out to Legacy Academy, Legacy Network, big sponsor of the channel. Learn to earn type of app. Check it out. It has over 500,000 downloads between the Google Play and the App Store on Apple. Check it out. It's free to download. It's a learn to Earn app. Very awesome stuff here, and definitely check out the interview I did with their founder about a month ago. So big shout out to Legacy Network, Legacy Academy for sponsoring this channel. So very cool stuff. But everybody, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Got about 150 people in the house just about this whole time. Thank you guys for being here. It means the world to me to just wake up in the morning, be on the hills at the hills here in LA, and make some content for you guys. We'll kind of show you this this little spot we're hanging out here on the porch. We got a really killer view back here. I'm not sure how much of it you can see, but we're on this hill. You can kind of see the highway back there, and just it's a really, really awesome spot. Really good view. But that's all I got, everybody. Have a safe rest of your day. We will be doing members only live stream tomorrow. Make sure you become a member of the channel. So that will probably be at the same time, or maybe a little later. Haven't decided, but probably between somewhere around 10:30, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. So with all being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a safe rest of your day. Smash the like button on your way out the door. Get rich or get wrecked. Boom.